At 72, Harold could barely take 10 steps without his cane. Today, he's hiking with his grandson up the hill behind their house. The secret? Just 2 minutes a day. No medications, no surgeries. Just a movement so simple, yet powerful enough to change a life. As a vascular surgeon, I have a confession to make. I've spent over 2 decades in the operating room, repairing blood vessels that look more like concrete pipes than living tissue. I've replaced arteries hardened by time, by diet, by neglect. Some patients made it to me too late. Others, like Harold, found another path. And when they do, I wish I could frame their scans and hang them on my wall, just to remind myself. This job shouldn't exist. Not when prevention can be this simple. Harold's story isn't a miracle. It's what happens when someone chooses consistency over complexity. Harold was a city bus driver for 35 years. After retirement, he slowed down, first mentally, then physically. His legs started swelling. His shoes no longer fit by mid-afternoon. He thought it was just getting old. Then came the cane, the shuffle, the constant ache. He hated the way people looked at him, like he was fragile. I didn't want to end up in a wheelchair, he told me, but I was scared of surgery, scared of losing more. He was dealing with something many of you know too well: peripheral edema, fluid building up in the lower legs, causing swelling, heaviness, and that awful pitting when you press into the skin and the dent stays. According to the Mayo Clinic, this condition affects up to 20% of adults over 65. But here's what most don't realize. Edema is often the body's early cry for help. The real issue isn't the swelling, it's why the swelling is happening. In Harold's case, the tiny one-way valves in his leg veins were starting to fail. Normally, those valves keep blood moving back toward the heart, but over time, and especially with too much sitting or standing, those valves weaken. Blood starts pooling in the legs. Fluid leaks out into surrounding tissue. That's when the swelling begins. Left untreated, this doesn't just cause discomfort. It can lead to ulcers, infections, and yes, eventually surgical intervention. But here's the truth I wish every patient knew. Motion is medicine, and for veins, it's the best kind. Harold found our video series during a late-night YouTube scroll. He watched it twice, then wrote down every move in a little notebook. I figured I'd try it. What did I have to lose, he told me. Day one, he sat in his recliner and started with heel pumps, just lifting his heels one at a time, feeling his calf muscles contract. No fancy equipment, no gym. Felt silly at first, he laughed. Like, how's this gonna help? But something in the explanation, something about how that muscle squeeze sends blood back up, made sense to him. And when it makes sense, it sticks. That's the part most people miss. Seniors like Harold don't need to be told what to do. They need to understand why it matters. So let me give you the why. A study published in the Journal of Vascular Medicine found that just 10 minutes a day of calf pump exercises reduced lower leg swelling significantly in adults over 65, even those with moderate venous insufficiency. It's not a theory, it's data, it's proven, and that's just the beginning. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? How long have you been using a cane or struggling with your legs? Drop a comment below. Let us know where you're at in your journey. This isn't just a video, it's a community, a walking circle of survivors. Harold didn't know if anything would change, but he promised himself he'd do the movements daily for 30 days, no matter what. Even on the days when his knees ached or his motivation waned. I just did it during the commercials, he smiled. And something started to shift. By day 5, he noticed his shoes weren't as tight. By day 7, he was sleeping through the night without that dull ache in his calves. By day 10, he called his daughter just to say, "I think this is working." But what happened next? Even I didn't expect that. Harold was surprised, but cautiously so. After all, he had tried things before. Compression socks that felt like a vice. Water pills that made him run to the bathroom every hour. Nothing lasted. But this was different. It didn't fight his body. It worked with it. Each morning, Harold sat by the window and followed along with the exercises. Simple heel raises, toe taps, ankle circles. He moved slowly, always within his comfort. But he moved. That's the key. The calf muscles, often called the second heart, play a vital role in helping blood flow back to the upper body. When you contract them, you squeeze the veins and pump blood upwards. That's not just poetic, it's anatomy. And for people with aging valves, that pump can compensate for what nature no longer does efficiently. According to Harvard Health Publishing, regular calf pump exercises have been shown to boost venous return, reduce swelling, and even lower the risk of developing blood clots in older adults. This isn't fringe science. It's standard vascular medicine. By the end of week 1, Harold began noticing a change not just in his legs, but in his mindset. I used to dread walking to the kitchen, he said, but one morning I got up and didn't even reach for the cane. He froze in place, not because of pain, but because of disbelief. Was it possible? His legs were coming back to life? He didn't want to jinx it, so he kept quiet, just kept moving, day after day. By week 2, things accelerated. Harold's ankles, which had once looked like overstuffed sausages by noon, were now barely swollen even in the evening. He started fitting into shoes he hadn't worn in 6 months. His daughter noticed first. "Dad, your walk's different," she said. "You're not dragging your feet." That night, Harold sat down with his old cane resting against the wall, not in his hand. He looked at it like an old friend who'd overstayed their welcome. But let's be clear, this wasn't effortless. He still had stiffness in the morning, still felt a little shaky stepping off curbs. But the difference now? He believed his body could change. He saw evidence of it every single day. And that belief, that's when transformation begins. One of the most common mistakes I see as a vascular surgeon is people assuming it's too late, that nothing can undo decades of damage. But they're wrong. The human body, especially the vascular system, has an incredible ability to adapt. A 2020 study from the Journal of Vascular Medicine showed that adults over 65 who performed simple leg exercises daily for just 2 weeks saw an average 18% reduction in peripheral edema, along with improved walking tolerance. 18%. 2 weeks. That's real. And Harold? He was about to cross that threshold. But the most powerful part of his journey had nothing to do with numbers. It came one afternoon standing by the school gate, waiting for his granddaughter. She ran to him, arms outstretched. "Grandpa, can we walk home today?" He hesitated, then said, "Sure." No cane, just his hand in hers. "I wanted to walk my granddaughter to school again," he said later, choking up. "I just didn't think I ever would." And that's why he kept going. He wasn't exercising for vanity or because some doctor told him to. He was doing it to be present, to show up for the moments that matter most, for his family, for himself. And let me tell you something. What happened next surprised even me. By week 3, Harold didn't just look steadier. He felt steadier. He wasn't only getting his legs back, he was getting his life back. That cane, once a daily crutch, now sat in the corner like a retired employee. No longer needed, no longer missed. But Harold wasn't reckless. He didn't leap into long walks or try to prove something. He added just one new element at a time. Guided breathing, gentle stretches, and moments of mindful standing. He understood now. Strength wasn't about force. It was about flow. He learned to combine his leg exercises with deep diaphragmatic breathing, which helps lower blood pressure and improves oxygen delivery to tissues. According to the American Heart Association, combining breathing techniques with movement improves vascular function and autonomic balance, especially in older adults. Harold didn't read the research, but he felt the results. "I stopped rushing," he said. "I'd breathe in, lift my heels, breathe out, lower them, like I was giving my legs a rhythm again." This is important because blood flow isn't just mechanical, it's rhythmic. When we sync movement with breath, we enhance venous return and reduce vascular stiffness. In fact, a 2021 study published in Circulation found that adults who performed low-impact movements with breathing coordination for just 4 weeks saw a 12% decrease in vascular stiffness index, a major predictor of heart disease and poor leg circulation. That's not placebo, that's physiology. Around day 21, Harold took his first independent trip to the local grocery store, on foot. 3 blocks, no cane, No panic. He moved slowly but confidently. He even picked up his favorite blueberries, the anti-inflammatory kind, he smiled, and walked home with a quiet sense of pride. Was he cured? No. He still had minor swelling by the evening, still had to sit and elevate his feet after longer outings. But something deeper had changed. I used to fear walking, Harold told me one afternoon. Now I fear not walking. I know what happens when you stop. And that is a mindset shift no surgery can give you. He had gone from passive to active, from uncertain to empowered. And in doing so, he unlocked something we all forget as we age. Agency. The power to choose our health. I saw him again around week 4. He looked younger, his posture straighter, his gait smoother, and his cane still in the corner, gathering dust. Now, if Harold's story is giving you hope, I invite you to take that first step with us. Hit the subscribe button and be part of this journey, not just to strengthen your legs, but to reclaim your freedom one day at a time. Because this video, it's not just Harold's story, it's video 14 of a 15-part journey we've been walking together. And if you've made it this far, I want to say something to you. Your blood vessels are already waking up. You may not feel it yet, but inside change is happening. Each movement is reminding your body, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. And the best part? We're not done yet. Harold never imagined he'd be the kind of person who looked forward to moving. But here he was, 30 days after starting a simple routine, with more energy, more confidence, and one less thing leaning on him, his cane. Was he perfect? No. Some days his legs still felt heavy. Some mornings his ankles looked a little puffier than he liked. But the difference was, he knew what to do about it. He had tools now. He had knowledge. But most of all, he had belief. And that, more than any stretch or exercise, was the greatest change of all. I remember the last thing he said to me before leaving our appointment. Doc, I know I still have a long road ahead, but this time I'm walking it. That's when I realized something. In my line of work, I've seen hundreds of legs on operating tables. Legs cut open, vessels bypassed, stents placed. Some of those surgeries were life-saving, but others could have been prevented if only they'd started moving earlier. So here's my message to you, watching this right now. Don't wait. Don't wait until you've lost your balance. Don't wait until the swelling keeps you up at night. Don't wait until your doctor says, it's time to talk about surgery. Move now, even just 2 minutes a day, because if Harold can do it, so can you. And if I, as a vascular surgeon, can admit that a simple home routine might be more powerful than many pills I prescribed, then you can believe it's possible too. I want to see fewer legs in the operating room, and more like Harold, out in the park, walking hand in hand with their grandkids. Which brings me to one last thing. Harold's story doesn't end here. While his legs were moving again, there was still something holding him back, his cholesterol. You see, movement gets the blood going, but the cleanliness of your arteries determines how well that blood flows. And Harold's blood work told us a truth many of us face after 60. Years of buildup inside the arteries, silently slowing circulation, even when the outside seems fine. He asked me, what can I eat to help? And that's where everything changed, again. So if you followed Harold this far, don't stop now. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what Harold added to his plate to support clean, flexible arteries. 3 foods that not only improved his numbers, but helped make his walking routine 10 times more effective. This isn't about a diet. It's about building a life that lets you keep walking, keep hugging, keep living on your own 2 feet. Until then, I have one simple ask. Leave a comment. Tell me your name, your age, and where you're watching from. Let's build a circle of strong walkers, strong hearts, and strong futures. I'll be here, cheering you on every step of the way. And as always, let's make sure your legs never need to see the inside of an operating room.